Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 6 of the Post Show Personal Development Program. Today, we're going to be talking about creating a daily ritual. And this whole week is really going to be focused on a lot of inner processes and work that you can do in order to align to your higher self. And I'm really, really excited about sharing this with you and helping you to create a daily ritual. I will say up front right now that this is not about you taking a daily ritual that I do or that someone else does. This is about you finding what's going to be best for yourself and for your goals. So it's really, really key that you take what I give you, but you don't make yourself so strict to following it that you don't actually reap the reward or the benefit. I can remember the first time I was given a daily ritual to follow. I loved it. I fell in love with it so much. But part of it was I had to wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. And this was tough for me because I got really creative at nighttime. Sometimes I'd be up until like 2 a.m. like just making content because I was just in like a creative zone. Like that's just a big way that I function a lot of times. And then to wake up 3 hours later was killing my health. I was like gaining weight, eating a lot, not eating at all. I was always tired. I fell asleep talking to anybody. It was crazy. So I realized like I had to let go of that side of it and then find what I did like about it, find what I appreciated about it and utilize that. So now I've created my own daily ritual. With similar principles and also from my own experience and things I've learned, mentors I've worked with, etc. There's a lot of different things we can do and there's no right or wrong way, but the key is to do what's going to actually get you in a different energy state, what's going to make you feel really good, what's going to actually align with your goals, because someone who's focusing on overcoming post-show blues, their daily ritual is probably going to look a lot different than someone who's trying to run or grow a massive online business or brand or product, right? So it's really important to remember that things will shift over time as well. And you don't have to be put in a box. You can do a daily ritual that covers all the bases of your life. You can even bring in a lot of what we talked about last week with the different dimensions of your life that you're really trying to improve. So we'll talk a lot about that as we go. I just wanted to preface this by letting you know that I'm going to actually help you to create it. But you have to take responsibility to jump in the group and say, this is what I have, or this is what I need help with. What do you think would be good for me? Or I really don't like doing XYZ. What can I do instead? Because maybe you don't want to journal every morning. So you are like, well, what can I do? And I might say something like, well, how can we create visualization? How can we create incantations where you're like getting in a physiological state that matches the energy of which you're trying to create in your life? Like maybe you actually spend time thinking about what it feels like and visualizing what it feels like to choose healthy, nourishing food for your body every day, even under the temptation of other things. So we'll discuss. Anyways, the most important thing is to keep your goals and next level self in mind when you're creating this daily ritual. You cannot create a daily ritual from the person you are right now. Okay, you have to step into the level of which you want to play at and create your daily ritual from that space. It's kind of like when you make a vision board. You're not making a vision board and putting pictures of all the things you already have, or you're not putting things that you want to keep. You're putting things that you want to achieve or accumulate or inspire to become. And those are the things that you want to keep in mind as you're making your daily ritual as well. So the first thing that I like to do is anticipate happiness, success, and fulfillment. Why do I like to start mine with this? Well, because it sets me up for creating, like going through the rest of my daily ritual with the idea already in mind that it's going to be a great day. I used to never do this, and it was only not recently, but I would say like 6 months ago, I decided I'm going to start writing down what I look forward to every day. And it was around when I was really struggling with my post-show blues, like really bad. And I was like, I'm so depressed. I don't even want to be here. Nothing makes sense anymore. Like, is this life worth living? Like, I was really in a negative state. And I knew I had the power to get out of it. And I said, what do I need? And I needed to know what I could look forward to every single day. So I began making that a part of my daily ritual. I anticipated the happiness or the excitement of the day. So I ask myself every morning, what am I looking forward to today? And it's been awesome. Some days I don't do my whole daily ritual in the morning. I don't have like a set rule, right? Like I'm not like, I have to do my daily ritual at X time every day. Like, no, sometimes I do it in the middle of the day because I had a super busy morning where I got this burst of inspiration to do all this work and I wanted to get it done. Like, there are things that will integrate, right? Like yesterday you might have put into your like journaling session, I am someone who has ideas flow effortlessly to me. I'm someone who wakes up ready to attack the day and get after it and go do my cardio, and I want to do it. And so maybe the next morning, if you had in your calendar, do your daily ritual, but you're feeling fired up, you're ready to go and do some fasted cardio because you just feel like it. Well, guess what? That's because that version of you has now integrated into today. So don't deny that version of you because you spent so much time yesterday journaling about this new version of you that you can't deny her when she wants to come out and play. So keep that in mind as well. You don't have to be locked down into a thing. I will say when you start, it's kind of like dieting, I guess you could say, right? Like having regimen in the beginning is nice because you learn a lot about yourself, your needs, your body, your likes, your dislikes that you can apply when you begin doing something like intuitive eating or macro counting or not anything at all, but you know what you like to eat and what makes your body feel good, right? So sometimes regimen can be good at the beginning, and then as long as you just like allow yourself to free flow. I didn't allow myself to free flow when I first started daily ritual, and I think that prevented me from manifesting at my highest potential. I manifested a lot. Like seriously, I was a manifesting magnet. Like I was queen of it. And I would say I still am, but I think it could have been a lot better if I had done what I'm doing now, which is allowing things to flow freely through me from inspiration and love rather than force. So, second thing, you need to raise your awareness. So, this is when I ask questions to myself. I usually do 3 to 5 focus questions or like 1 or 2 longer focus questions. Sometimes I make it really fun and just ask myself a random question like, what are the 3 things in life that I've done that have taught me the most? Like that's a really in-depth question, but I might one day ask myself, like, what's my favorite like type of animal? Like, I don't know, just having fun with it sometimes is good too. Asking random questions can be nice, but what I'm getting at is raising your awareness, focusing in on some questions that are going to expand your perspective on your life. So I have my journal next to me right now, actually, and I'm going to read you what my questions were this morning. Funny. 1, something you've recently learned about yourself. 2, what I love about having mornings for myself. And 3, what are the 3 big tasks that can move the needle forward today? So those are 3 things that I asked myself this morning. That's not what I ask myself every morning, though. Like I'll go back. Yesterday, how big do you want to be? What are you doing now to get there? Another question I asked was, what parts of me have been hiding lately, or have I been hiding lately? What are 3 things I love about my relationship? What are some fears I need to get rid of? I'm sure you could probably hear me flipping through it, but what are 3 ways I could make things happen today? Just crazy, like all sorts of different questions. How does it feel when I'm in flow? What allows me to get into that state? Like, you really have to give yourself the freedom here to listen and ask yourself, what does my soul need? Maybe you start with that. Raising your awareness is really about tapping into what you need. So what questions can you ask yourself to become more present in your body and your mind? Like I said, sometimes this can be a really fun and silly question that just gets you into a better, more fun, tapped into yourself and who you are deep down inside state. And other times it's really introspective where you have to ask yourself, like, what am I trying to control in my life? What am I trying to hide? What are the things I love most about life? Why is life worth living? Right? So you need to know what your body needs from you as well. Especially going through this program, I think it's very important to also create a daily ritual that's going to allow yourself to answer questions or reflect on ideas that relate to being in the improvement season. So that might be something like, what does my body really want from me? And am I giving this to her? Or what are some signals that my body's been giving me that I've been totally ignoring? And why have I been ignoring them? Because you might find that, your body's been telling you it's tired of having so much protein and it needs a rest, but you have decided to push really hard in the gym and keep eating like even more protein just because you're afraid that if you don't do that, you won't be doing the right thing and you'll fall behind all the other competitors who are doing that. And that's a fear that then needs to be addressed. Okay, well, where's this belief coming from? Oh, well, because all these people who are on my team are doing XYZ. Okay, well, what makes my journey different? Why does my body need this right now? And then you're going to get the answers. And you have to then make the choice, raise your awareness to then ask, what do I really need to do then? What do I need to believe? Who do I have to become? So after you raise your awareness and kind of go into some focus questions, I recommend that you review some things that you are grateful for. And I'm talking about great gratitude for what is, like what is happening right now. A lot of people get caught up in what they want and they focus on the negative things versus seeing the positives and seeing what's going right. I've been guilty of this in relationships. Okay, I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm committed to being very open and raw with you guys always. And I notice that sometimes in my relationship, I seek to find the things that need to be changed because I have this deep desire for everything in life to be perfect. But I notice that when I let go, things happen a lot better. Like, for example, I don't write scripts for any of the videos I make, any of these like workshops. Like, I obviously prepare and I set a plan in place, like these slides, and I have the ideas written down that I want to make sure I touch on. But me bringing up what I just shared wasn't something I scripted out, and yet it flowed from me. So I created a better result, and I'm sure that's going to touch more of you. Same thing happens in gratitude and in life. Like, gratitude is such a powerful emotion. When we could connect to it, we actually become in a state where we are willing to receive and we're open to receiving more of what we are appreciative of. If we constantly hate on the things we don't have, or we hate that we don't have them, we're sending out this signal that we don't really want them or we're not ready for them. So we have to be grateful for what we do have so that way we can create more of it, or we can attract what we also want, and be grateful for the things other people have that we want, because we can't create what we hate. So after you get grateful for what it is that you have right now, you've raised your awareness, you've looked at the things you're looking forward to today, you've become aware of what you need, you've done some focus questions, and now you're very grateful for what you have in your life, but you know that it's time to step it up. And you want some more things to come on their way to you. And you know that they exist in the universe, right? Like everything we want, like if you can imagine this like huge like soup above your head, like this quantum field, right? And in that quantum field, all these players are running around, and all those players are the things that you want, or the people you're going to meet, or the people you want to be connected to. They exist already. You have to now get to that field. So how do we get there? Who do you need to become? Who are you becoming? Why are you grateful for this new version of you? Like, what does it bring to your life? What does getting to that field do for you? So by asking yourself, who do I need to become to be someone who is happy and at peace with my body, no matter what size I am? Who do I need to become? Okay, when you do your journaling on this, it might be something like, I am always so grateful for the things that my body does for me. And because of that, I naturally find myself caring and loving for my body with so much more ease and excitement, because the love just flows naturally to me where I want to do this for myself. Okay. And if that doesn't feel good, like maybe you don't like writing down, I am, insert what you're becoming. Maybe what you can write down instead is, I have decided to become someone who looks in the mirror and finds all the amazing things about myself. Or I have decided that every time a negative thought comes into my head about my body, I address it immediately with self-love. I hang up my self-love versus self-love sheet on my mirror, and I make sure that if I struggle with it, I say that, or I read it every morning. So whatever it might be, you have to decide to become this next level version of you. And then you have to ask yourself, who are you becoming, right? So that's when you start becoming grateful for that version of you that you are becoming and stepping into. So maybe it's, I am so happy and grateful that I am able to look in the mirror and love the way that I look, even in my improvement season, when I'm not getting smaller every day, when I'm not getting shredded every day. I can still look in the mirror and see the progress I'm making. And I'm so happy and grateful that this is my reality, because it's allowing me to build from a space of clear energy and love. I have so much less stress running through my body, which allows myself to heal faster and allows me to grow at a better rate. And it's going to bring me the ultimate energy heading into my next prep. Or maybe you are someone who has taken an off season because you want to focus on things in your life, your business, or whatever. So maybe you say, I am so happy and grateful to be running a business that's allowing me to pay all my bills and be independent and save for healthy meals and foods that I want to fuel my body with. So I'm crushing it in the off season and into my next prep. And I'm so grateful that I'm able to do this. And I'm so grateful that I'm able to take this time, not only for myself, but also my business. And doing this is allowing me to grow at a different place in my life. And that's okay right now. And I'm happy with that growth. So you can see how when you find gratitude in what you're becoming, who you're becoming, what you have, right? Like maybe you're like about to close a deal on like your dream home, or you're about to get a sponsorship, or you're about to like launch a new business or get a new job or go for that promotion. If those are things that you want, you have to be grateful for them before they come, because you need a reason for them to come into your life. When you have a reason, when you have a motive for those things to show up in your life, they will come with a lot more ease, because you are already excited about them and you already love them so much that when they show up, it's like a big reunion. Like, yes, I knew you were coming. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you so much. You know, it's like when you're ready for a party, you're just excited for everyone to come. You've got the house all clean. Everything's organized. You're set to go and you're waiting for the doorbell to ring. And as soon as it does, you're opening that door. Yes, I'm so glad you're here. I have been thinking about seeing you for so long. So that's the identity work we have to do. We really have to be grateful and loving to our future self as well as the person we are. So write down your goals as though they're already done, or something that you're committed to or you've decided is done. Like, I have decided that my off season is empowering, inspiring, and I am more focused on making improvements in my life than just watching a number on the scale, or whatever it might be, whatever feels good for you. I am running a business that allows me to do what I love, make extra money, and provide for a vacation in 3 months that I'm super excited about to surprise my husband with, or my best friend, or my mom, right? So write down your goals as though they're already done, or something that you're absolutely committed to. Now, intention setting. So intention setting is really about figuring out what actions you need to take today to get yourself closer to the best version of you. You always want to make your to-do list after you do the daily journal and connection to the higher self. Now, there might be some things that you know you needed to complete yesterday or the day before, or you know you've been needing to do it, or it's already on your daily calendar. Like, those are things that are okay to write down before, obviously. But when you wait until after you do the journalings or the visualizations or whatever you choose to do to set yourself up for a successful day, you're actually able to create action steps that are more aligned to this higher version of you that you've just connected with, right? Again, it goes back to not making decisions from the person you are now, but as the person you're becoming, right? Like, the person you're becoming is going to be going to the gym every day, or the person you're becoming is going to make it a priority to meal prep, or the person you're becoming is making a priority to do their schoolwork, or to spend more time with their kids, or to go out on more dates with people, you know? So those are things you have to keep in mind. Who is this person you're becoming? What are they doing today? Like, if you were to work backwards and look at where you're becoming, like that field, right? You're looking up at that field. What's the step closest to the field? And then the step before that, and the step before that, and the step before that, and now the step that's right in front of you. So what actions are those? It could be meal prepping, going to the gym, setting a new boundary, reaching out to connect with others, finally doing that thing that you haven't done for 6 months, but it's been taking up so much space in your mind. It could literally be organizing and cleaning the space around you. Remember, welcoming the new you to the party. Getting rid of old clothing or other energies can be helpful. Like maybe you have been holding on to something from an ex for too long, or maybe you've had this one raggedy old shirt that totally screams scarcity mindset and you are ready to get a new one. And it's definitely not a sleep shirt or a comfy shirt. You just keep it because you feel like, I can't have what I really want. Well, if you got rid of it and actually got what you wanted? Okay, so the goal is to ask yourself, what do I need to do from that space of my next level version? That's where you set intentions. So maybe you set an intention that I am committed to finding and creating enjoyment in all of the decisions I make today. And everything I do, I'm doing it for my health. And when I show up today, I'm showing up to challenge my body, but I'm doing so in a way that nourishes me. And I do this from a space of love because I genuinely am content with the way that I am. And I'm regimented in my choices, but I allow for experiences, and that gives me a lot of freedom and fulfillment. I increase my present moment to moment awareness, and that brings me mindfulness and peace of mind and allows me to connect on a deeper level to my needs and to my higher self. So you see how you can set intentions that are very powerful that bring you to that next level without necessarily taking you out of where you are. A lot of people just focus on where they want, who they want to be, who they're trying to become, what they're trying to get, without actually going there. You have to go there. You have to believe so wholeheartedly that it's already you or it's already yours, that you take every action possible or every action you would take if it was. I'll give you another example. I recently bought a new car, and I remember thinking, I could trade in a car that I have and just get the bottom of the line, because I rarely drive. Guys, I rarely drive. I was like, I could just get the bottom of the barrel car, a used car, maybe get no car, just walk everywhere. That'll keep me even healthier. I don't need a car. And I was like, why am I saying this? Like, I definitely love my car. I love muscle cars. I love sporty cars. So that's what I want. And I've gotten used to driving this. This is all I've ever driven in. All I ever drove in was a Dodge Challenger. I was super blessed. When I was 16, my parents gave me that. And I remember I walked into the dealer and I already had decided 2 days before that I was getting a Dodge Challenger, a 2018 Dodge Challenger, brand new. I decided that. That was done. It was a done deal. It was just a matter of now getting to the dealer and signing the paperwork. Obviously driving the car, making sure I actually like it, etc. But the thing is, I made that decision for my higher self. My higher self said, Celeste, you are committed to giving yourself everything that you want. You know that you deserve it. You know that you're worthy and capable of achieving everything that you want. Therefore, you will get the car that you want. You will not lower your standards out of fear, scarcity, or lack. You know your business will be successful. You know you are already successful. You know you have plenty of money. You could pay for the whole thing right now. Do it. Why wouldn't you? And it was like, I could have been stuck in old energies or negative versions of me that are like, oh, you shouldn't do that, or you can't have this, or no 21-year-old should have a car like that, blah, 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 blah. That's just false information. That is not from the higher self. And if I had acted on that, I would have walked up to my car every single day and thought of everything I didn't have and everything I wasn't achieving. Versus now I walk up to my car every day and I'm like, I'm making a real impact in this world. I am making a serious difference, and it allows me to have the things that I want. Because I'm helping others, I get to help myself. See what I'm saying? It's all about always connecting to your higher version of yourself. The rest will take care of itself, but you have to trust that it will. And you obviously have to take the actions that are going to take you from where you are now to that higher field. Okay, next thing, you need to have a self-love practice. This doesn't have to be daily, although I have a daily practice where I just write a little letter to myself like, Dear Celeste, I'm super proud of you for this, or I really love you because you always do this. But I also have self-love practices on my calendar where it's like, okay, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I pamper myself with like a face mask, a bath, or jacuzzi, or relaxation, whatever it might be. So just add one, for now, add one self-love practice to your calendar every day. Maybe it's 5 minutes, but obviously throughout the day you should be rewriting your stories and turning loathful actions into loving actions, or thoughts and words and beliefs. But having an intentional separate practice is a huge deal, because it's one thing to be conscious of the things you're saying, right? That's going to create new habits and new thought patterns when you're always like readjusting the negative beliefs with positive ones. But it's another thing to actually commit to setting aside time just for yourself, right? When you set aside, let's say 10 minutes for yourself, you now have like so much more to give to other people. And I will say, like, maybe I'm a little biased, because like for me, doing self-love is really about being able to give more to others as well. So by taking care of myself, I know I'm also taking care of others, and that's my motivation to do it. But maybe for you, it's more about like self-love is what's going to allow you to take it to the next level. Maybe self-love is going to allow you to just finally feel good in your skin. And that's okay too. I was there as well, and I am still there. So you just have to set aside an intentional separate practice. And then you can even add self-love to your calendar, so that every day at a time you tune into like what it is you need. So you don't have to say like, on Tuesday at 7 p.m., I put a face mask on. Like, you don't have to do that. You could just say at Tuesday at 7 p.m., self-love practice. And then at Tuesday at 7 p.m., you go, what feels good for me right now? What do I really need? Or, that way you can try something new every day, or you could put one thing down for like one different thing down every day for a week or two, and see what you like and what sticks and what you want to keep, what made you feel really, really good. But it's just important to set this aside. And again, none of this has to be done at a specific time of day. Do it when it feels best for you. Next thing, what's going to make you feel best? So we've done most of like the journaling and intention setting, right? What are you looking forward to? What are you grateful for in your life? You need to raise awareness of who you're becoming, so you can do this work from that space, setting powerful intentions from that space, like writing your goals as though they're done already, taking action from that space, and then of course initiating a self-love practice at some point during the day. And now other things that you can do throughout your day, right? Because I feel like people think daily ritual and think that means like, oh, just like do something in the morning that makes you feel good. But what about every day if you committed to something for yourself throughout the day, not just at one point in time? So maybe it's going outside as a midday break, or spending time cuddling with pets or even a loved one. Or maybe it means you hit the gym first thing in the morning, or midday, or after work is done for the day. Like, not just doing it to do it, but really intentionally thinking what's going to make me feel best. It could be eating different foods throughout the week, following a meal plan, just having what your body's expressing a need for. But write it down, or make note of it in your head that you're going to do what feels best for you. And some days might be different than others. Maybe something else is expressing love to others. I know something I like to do. Every day I try to do this. It's an intention I set for every day, and usually it happens pretty naturally now, to just send a message of love to somebody. Appreciation, gratitude, recognition of something they're accomplishing or doing. Once you do this, like for a little bit, it just starts coming very naturally. You'll see this happen, especially as you're taking care of yourself as well. And so many of you are already like such amazing souls and beings that I would have no doubt that you're already doing something like this. So another thing might be you chug water first thing in the morning, or maybe you're like, no, first thing in the morning, I want to sip my tea, or I want to have lemon water. This is what I do. I have lemon water. And then if I want like decaf coffee because it's nice and warm, I'll do that. So maybe it means you do a morning stretch as well. Like maybe for a week, you see how it feels to do a morning stretch every day for like 5 minutes. And if it makes you feel like super awesome, keep going. If it doesn't, and then next week you try a walk every morning and you're like, wow, that feels so awesome, maybe you do that instead. So what's going to make you feel best? Not just one time in the day, but throughout the day. Like, what are those little things you need to do for yourself to keep you feeling amazing? Okay. And by the way, actually, this is about you. This should all be about you. Okay. What do you and your higher self need? Like, what's going to make you feel best? Because it's all about the principles. Okay. So sometimes we're taught to believe like that we shouldn't treat ourselves a certain way, or we shouldn't give ourselves to so much, or we shouldn't give to ourselves so much, excuse me, or daily rituals are selfish, or if we take this time for ourselves, we don't have time for others. And that's just not true. This is a time that is about you, and it's okay to set that boundary and say, actually, this is about me. And it's all about the principles, right? So the principles of the daily ritual, you might want to write this down so you can identify what's going to be beneficial for you in these rituals, or in these principles to develop the rituals, is identity, gratitude, energetic state, and actions. So think about how you can take all those 4 principles to the next level every day, and having a daily ritual in place that helps you do that. So I share with you a lot of things that can help, but it's important to, of course, ask yourself, what is it that's going to be fun? And you might try something for like a month and then be like, oh, I don't want to journal again. And then maybe you start visualizing or meditating. So if you don't think you can commit to everything all at once, just start with one thing, okay? The last thing I want you to do is overwhelm yourself. When you get overwhelmed, it's usually a sign that you're stepping into a next level identity. But then there's this state of way beyond overwhelm that's just like you've launched into another dimension of like complete almost burnout. We cannot have that happen. You're doing so amazing, first of all. Second of all, if you overwhelm yourself by trying to fix everything all at one time, you're sending this signal that like what you are is not necessarily good enough. But you are good enough. You're amazing as you are, but you also deserve to grow. And because you deserve to grow, you're going to love yourself enough to take the action necessary. For some people, they like to dive head first. I'm going to do everything all at once, and that's why I function best. For other people, they're like one toe at a time. We got to feel the waters first. And as I get used to it, we'll get all in. So whatever it is that's going to work for you in this situation, you got to do that because it has to feel good for you. If your daily ritual or something you're committing to does not feel good, you're only creating negative space and energy around it. When my daily ritual started to feel bad, I started to resent it. And then everything I was writing and doing was like such a waste of time because all I was doing was bringing resentful energy to it. That's why your state of energy is so important. It's important to find things to be grateful for, find things to look forward to. So if you don't think you can commit to it, like I said, just choose one thing. So maybe it's an early morning dog walk that you put on your calendar every day this week, or maybe next week you decide to do a meditation every afternoon just to reset your energy before you go into whatever's next for the rest of the day. Or maybe you haven't been to the gym in a while because you've been nervous about how other people view you. So maybe you just choose a time of day that you're going to feel most comfortable there because you deserve it. Or maybe you find the energy to do some home workouts and slowly work your way back into the gym a couple days a week. Or maybe your daily ritual becomes writing down 3 fun questions to ask yourself in the morning. And you write it down every night before bed, so then in the morning when you wake up, you have that to do right away. Or maybe it's just visualizing that higher version of you. Maybe it's choosing to, for your self-love, practice. Maybe you do it 3 times a week instead of every day, because that's more something you can commit to. So by the end of this week, what I want you to do, and there's going to be other, obviously, action steps and things that you're going to do. I'm going to take you through some, like I mentioned last week, a Core Soul Codes exercise. I'm going to take you through that this week because last week it was a massive, massive project. As you know, I've been giving you guys a lot more expansion every week because we're growing together. So by the end of this week, I need you to post what your daily ritual is going to be. I want you to explain why this feels good for you. Maybe when you explain it, you're like, well, I don't really know exactly, so I'm going to try the one that you kind of laid out for us here. Or maybe you're like, well, I actually know that I've already been doing this, but I need to add XYZ to help me with the wellness principles we discussed last week. Whatever it might be, just explain it. And then reveal why this daily ritual will improve your life. Because this is what's going to anchor in the motivation or the need to commit to it. If we don't see a reason for doing something, we likely won't do it. Like we talked about at the beginning of this program, it's like, why is this so beneficial for you? Why is this something you're doing? And then those are the things that keep you moving forward. Because it's like, well, what happens if you don't do it? That's what you want to think about. When you reveal why this daily ritual will improve your life, think about the things that will happen if you don't do it. And then I want you to share how it felt to do it one of these days. So if you watched this workshop and then 2 days later, you feel like you had your daily ritual mostly sorted and you implemented it, Let us know how it felt. Okay. Doesn't matter if you share it this week. Okay. So this one maybe has an asterisk next to it. If you don't share it this week, that's okay. Just at some point in this program, share with us how it feels to do your daily ritual. Or if your daily ritual changes, that's cool too. And then think of how regimented you want to be with it. And tell us how that regimented that is. So is it really going to be a daily ritual, or is it something that's more like 4 times a week to start with? Or 2 times a week? Or twice a day, every day? What are you willing to commit to? Okay, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just, what are you willing to commit to? I think as competitors, we get so wrapped up in the things that we should do, we need to do, we have to do, we need to compete with, we have to compare to, we have to live up to, instead of what do we want? What's best for me? What's going to help me grow? Maybe grow as a competitor if you're going to continue to compete, or maybe grow into your life out of competing. What is it that you really want? So it's okay to just ask yourself that question and be okay with whatever comes up and be okay with it changing. Obviously, you got to still challenge yourself. You still have to chase the goals and the dreams that you've set up for yourself if they're still what you want. Don't give up on those things just because it gets tough. You have to stay real with yourself. You have to stay honest and true to those things and what you're committing to, but do it from a place of pure gratitude and love and appreciation and excitement for your future. Not for anything else or anyone else or any other expectation. Just do it for you. So I'm very excited to see what you guys come up with this week. And I'm looking forward to taking you guys through probably one of my favorite, I've taken a lot of people through this like over the years, and it's one of my favorite practices ever. And it's something that sometimes I like to tap into, although it doesn't usually change that much, I've noticed, because it's really your core soul codes. It's what are the things you value most. So I'm very much looking forward to taking you guys through that exercise, as it's going to help you to determine things in your life that are aligning to your core soul codes and things that are not. And that way you can kind of start to create more space for the things that you want, or you can start acting on everything with those core soul codes in mind. Because for some people, you might find that your core soul code, one of them is the love or value of family. And maybe for others of you, find that it's health. Maybe, it's 3 to 5. We're going to really narrow it down and get determined on what it is. So then we can think about how in your life you can maximize the things you're currently doing or setting out to do in order to achieve those. So I'm super looking forward to taking you guys through that, and I'm really, really excited for you guys to start having a daily ritual if you don't already, or changing it up, or creating new practices within it that's going to help you improve, especially in the improvement season. Improvement season, mental gains, right? So let's focus in on this. Keep me posted. If you need help developing your daily ritual, that's why I'm here. That's why we have the live Q&As. That's why you can, post in the group and ask other people for their feedback. That's what it's here for. So maybe if you really don't know where to start, just post some of your major goals or things that you've learned in the past couple of weeks that you really want to work on, and that'll help you to create a daily ritual that's going to help you do that. So I'm very, very excited. I do want you to try to create your own based on the principles I've shared with you, just because I feel like that's what's going to allow you to really feel connected most to yourself and to it. But if you struggle, that's why I'm here. That's why you're in this program. So with all that being said, I hope you have an amazing time doing this. And I hope that you have a great rest of your day, night, or morning, wherever you are in the world while you're watching this workshop. Just make it awesome.